do this message for too long. Get up in here, get up in here. I know a lot of y'all is on your lunch breaks. I know a lot of y'all is on your lunch breaks. Get up in here, get up in here. Because I got something to talk about. I'm going to talk about something that you wouldn't think I would talk about. As long as I've been doing American Heritage Society class messages as Multimedia Sevyn, I know there's some people out there that be like, now, don't get me wrong. I does do a lot of messages where I'm putting people on blast. Some people might think I'm nosy. Meanwhile, I don't even give a fuck about the information God wants me to relay in regards to like people who I've never came in contact with, people who are hidden enemies, etc., etc., etc. I even hear in the spiritual towards these enemies, whether they're hidden or not hidden, that they feel as though I'm being nosy, and it's like, you know what? For the most part, I always tell my experiences in a moral. Excuse me. Enemy going through utter destruction right now. I'm telling you, it's happening right now. It's been happening since this morning. Bitch, why the fuck I had a dream 2D catcher message, right? That I had a while ago. And it literally had came into fruition, and I had to go talk about it, so I posted on the Patreon, bitch. My motherfucker, my motherfucker certificate diploma, bitch, fell off. Had fell, bitch. Like as soon as I started writing about it, I'm just like, yo, this the enemy is a hater because they was getting mad because I was exposing them, like, and it like the enemy's like throwing tantrums, bitch, like throwing tantrums in spiritual, throwing tantrums in real life. But anywho's like the enemy always make it seem like I'm being nosy in they shit and not, you know, necessarily telling my business. So today's gonna be the day I'm gonna tell y'all some of my business, like, because like a lot of it is not like a secret necessarily. I just don't think it's like, I don't know. I don't really think anything of it. Like to come on social media and come tell all my business and shit like that. I'm not somebody that has secrets per se. I just don't care to be telling random people my business. But like, if I'm going to be an example of being a good person, not necessarily being a good person, but like, if I can get on the internet and I can talk about other people, not because I necessarily want to, because God's like, you gotta talk about it. I see in the dream state, so I have to talk about it. I can talk about what the fuck I got going on. So because it's no shame in what I got going on. It really isn't. Um, where do we begin? So today I'm gonna talk to y'all about my baby daddy. I'm gonna talk to y'all about my baby daddy today because I know for a lot of people who are actually nosy, they've been trying to figure out. Hello to the good people in the comment section. Um, I know for a lot of people, even like in real life, not social media, like there's people that still don't know information about my previous partnership with my baby daddy, and people are just naturally nosy. People know I'm a single mother for now, not forever, but like people are always nosy about that and want to know, and like I don't let bad people around me and my child necessarily, so like I don't go out my way to do that. So because as a parent, you do what's best for you and yours. So I'm about to like, I guess, talk about it. Where do we begin? So I always tell y'all my life is like a movie. Um, this is about to be interesting because y'all going to be like, when I tell y'all this situation with my baby daddy, y'all gonna be like, because then then after I say what I say, y'all can go back to them previous channel messages, and you're gonna like let's say the previous 5 channel messages, you're gonna super understand where I'm coming from. I know sometimes I'll be saying stuff and y'all be like, why is she saying that? Thank you for telling me I'm so pretty. I took a shower today, but like in all honesty, y'all like the dress I made? Well, I didn't make it exactly, but like I customized it. This was part of the dress, and I made it into a shawl, bitch. But it's a little inside right now, so naturally pretty. Thank you. I really appreciate you for saying that. But anywho's, aspire to be naturally pretty because when I have that husband of mine, bitch, I'm gonna be looking good naturally. I'm gonna be looking good, dolled up. No pun intended. Anyways, but that's so ironic because my baby daddy is an Aquarius, sun sign placement. Mind you, I'm an Aquarius moon sign placement. The reason why I can tell y'all that and not feel no type of way is because we're gonna talk about the astrology of it all. She was like, "Yes, girl, clock it." Talking about the conversation, let's talk about it. There's sun, moon, and rising. Those are your main three. There are other placements in a birth chart where your zodiac sign can be very prominent, but in regards to your main three moon sign, sun sign, rising sign placements, your north node is your rising sign. Those are prominent freaking placements. So first and foremost, the moon sign. You said don't talk about that. No, because you're gonna learn from what I'm saying. Because I don't know if you have children or not. Shauna, in the comment section. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I don't know if you have children or not, or you're aspiring to have children. But like what I'm about to explain to you is how I didn't previously know anything about birth charts, but now as I'm looking at my birth charts, it literally predicted who my baby daddy was gonna be. I could have avoided a baby daddy and just went to the. You have two children. Get that birth chart read. Get that destiny chart read if you want. I be telling y'all. So my clients have been very happy. So yeah. So like I'm saying, my baby daddy is a Aquarius sun sign placement. My birth chart and my moon sign placement. Moon sign placement is Big Mama. Big Mama. Yeah, you know. Let me know in the comment section. Big Mama. It's me. Anywho's, the moon sign placement is significant of your fourth house placement, mother figures. All right? Your moon sign placement is significant of your fourth house and being a mother. It's also significant of like who you are, but like being a like your mother has something to do with your moon sign placement all the time. You say I'm awesome? Thank you. I'm so awesome. Anywho's, so you see how I'm saying my baby daddy is Aquarius sun sign placement, and then my moon sign is in Aquarius, but that's a more the moon sign is more prominent than the sun sign placement. The sun sign placement says about your personality. My moon sign placement is who I am, like navigating the world before I become the person I'm supposed to be. That would be a rising, who you supposed to be. But my moon sign is significant of me being a mother, and mother figure, stuff like that. But my baby daddy is an Aquarius. So my moon sign told me that my baby daddy is who my baby daddy is. That is going to, oh, fuck no, I'm not with my baby daddy. And this is why I'm narrating it and I'm breaking it down in a certain way because, like, when I say what I say, if y'all ready, like, get your snacks, bitch. Like, I'm not trying to be on here for more than an hour for today for this channel message. Because it's like, a lot of times, as any type of content creator, people get on the internet and you could say whatever you want to say about other people. Some people troll other people online, throw rocks and hide their hand, throw sticks and hide their hand. And I'm just like, it's been like this projection of like I'm not really talking a lot about my personal life on here, and I'm just coming on here trying to do the job and career. The bonnet, yes, the bonnet. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's giving baby mama vibes right now. But like, if you look at my other content, I put that shit on. But right now, guys, I had to do the message right now. So like, y'all just gonna have to take me how it is. I still got my skincare shit on, like so I don't really give a fuck. As long as it's not the Scotch bonnet on the pussy, bitch. Anywho's, I wish that on all my ops. Now, so my birth chart told like basically, thank you. That does look great. I appreciate you. So basically, In my birth chart, I can see who my baby daddy is. Now the thing is, we're not destined. I'm not even trying to be funny. Every single person in the world is not destined to just have a baby daddy. My birth chart clearly tells me I'm supposed to be married. I would never marry my baby daddy, my firstborn baby daddy. Would never. And I'm gonna explain the story why, but I would never. I just need to let y'all know. I'm very adamant about that. Um, my birth chart told me, but I've always known. You're talking like I'm a person who has been getting prophetic messages for more like for decades. I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to get married. And it wasn't until like what 5 years ago when I started looking into birth charts. I saw verbatim in my birth chart, so I knew for a fact what them people were saying and what I believe that I am going to be married one day. That is true because I saw the placement in my birth chart. Yeah, I smoked vapes with exes. Would I go with an Italian guy if he treated me like a princess? Yes, if I consent to the relationship. Yeah, I don't discriminate. I'm African and I don't want to date or marry an African. There's been people that try to make me feel bad about that, but if you've lived my life, which nobody can ever do, if you knew what the things I went through and it's just like I don't have nothing against my people. It's just like it's just certain stuff I don't agree with that I've seen thus far in my life that like it's just like I don't think I could ever date or marry an African. It's just not happening. It's not happening. So I am somebody who's gonna date outside of my race. So my baby daddy. Well, before I get into the description of my baby daddy, let's tell you about the journey, bitch. You ready? Are y'all ready? So, a decade ago, mind you, I'm not trying to be funny. People have their own experiences and situations. You gotta understand my mindset before I had got pregnant with my firstborn child. I already said I wasn't going to have children. You said, ma'am, I need a. You said, ma'am, a man need to treat you like a man need to treat you like a princess. Yes, technically I am a princess. Ironically, in a whole nother country. But my opposition, why do we be living like this? But you know, it is what it is. I gotta just wait it out. You ever seen the movies where it be like somebody who's a princess and they didn't know they was a princess? Like this literally my life. They was a princess, they didn't know they was a princess, and then they want them to be living like Cinderella and shit. And then come to find out you actually have a family tied to nobility and shit, bitch, in a whole nother fucking country. That's my life. That's literally my life. And somebody didn't want me to talk about it. Somebody didn't want me to. I had a book out about the shit. Niggas try to force me to motherfucking in the USA, in the northern region. That's where I live at. In the north, where it's safe, but not from my ops. Now, so yeah, that's basically been my life. Like, so you put the purple heart. That's very significant. What we gonna talk about in this message? Because if you know in Africa, what part of Africa, even though I'm not from that part of Africa, you know what's going on over there in regards to the purple hearts. Ironically, you didn't even hear the story, bitch. Excuse my language. I'm just talking. You didn't even hear the story yet. Because if you listen to the 5 previous channel messages after you listen to what the fuck I'm about to say, everything gonna make sense. Because I've been trying to like, not necessarily politics, but I've been trying to word my words correctly. I've been calling certain people out, but it's not fair for me to call them people out and we don't tell the whole full like shit. I don't mind putting my business out there so other people can understand the perspective of where I'm coming from. Like I'm not a person that's just gonna continuously try to put somebody down, even if they're in the wrong, and not say what the fuck I got going on. I'm in the middle of interior design. I put the stars up, and I like to get creative in my room and do a lot of wall art. So like it's in the process. The enemy been projecting previously for the last Like, man, if I tell y'all, like, niggas didn't want me to enjoy, me and my kids to enjoy our birthday for the last previous 2 months. Niggas was trying to like not want me to have for the last 2 months, and I was having like, and I'm still having. It's just I had to re up my shit. It's just like and waiting for that process. It's just like it's just a lot. So like I haven't really been in the mood to continue the interior design. I don't really give a fuck. God said, like I was even talking to God. I trust me. Like you see how I got the. It's not the aesthetic's not really given right now for how beautiful I really am. Howsoever, I'm naturally beautiful, and like I had to even talk to God before I got here. I'm like, God, like I know you want me to do this message right now, but like I ain't like, can I at least put some makeup on? Can I put my wig on? Like he was like, no, come out you out because you need to do this message right now. So I listened because it's not about talk about the good things. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. So you gotta understand, school never used to really be my thing. Very intelligent, very smart. I was a student that would make the quote unquote bad friends, the people who didn't care about school, the people who didn't give a fuck about education because of stereotypical shit. And then I'll be the one, like star pupil. I ain't say I had the best grades in the motherfucking class all the time because like I was one of the people like I would go to school and like the education would bore me. And you know what they say about those type of people, like it's just like you're not being mentally stimulated and stuff like that. I wasn't mentally stimulated. I didn't care for what the fuck they were talking about. I had some good teachers. I had some teachers that didn't care. Like bitch, like if I told you about the teachers I had and what was going on, some of my teachers made the motherfucking news, bitch. That's a like life really a movie, bitch. To this day. Some of my teachers made it to the motherfucking news and not for good shit, bitch. Anywho's, so I was like, I'm the good kid that was hanging around with some bad people. But like one thing about me, I was a good kid. I was a good kid that like would be around what you would consider the bad kids, and then I'll be preaching the word of God, and they'd be like, yo, why are you hanging with us? They would be making fun of me and shit like that because I was a good person. They was doing bad shit. I ain't gonna hold you to some shit like I was wrong for, but like when it really came down to it, niggas was calling me mama, since I was like, an adolescent. Niggas was calling like niggas and bitches was calling me mama because it was like an inside joke. Like you always acting like somebody parent. I was even parenting my siblings at a young age. No shade, no tea. Like no shade, no tea. So listen, I have to get this message out. I only want to be on here for an hour. So long story short, I'm just trying to give you the mindset of like where I was before I got pregnant. I got pregnant at the age of 18. I'm not trying to be funny. Let's be all the way for real. Let's be all the way for real. Where I say my nationality is from, Africa. I'm not saying it can't happen. I live in America though, but my nationality is full blood African. Is it something you see every day? I'm not blaming this shit on nobody. I'm just saying. I'm just putting because stereotypes are stereotypes, right? For a reason. How often do you see an African Nigerian at that young lady succumb to the stereotype of being a single mother, having a child out of wedlock at the age of 18? When you think about Africans, what do you think about? Keep that in mind. So, use your context clues. Because I was just having a conversation with God. I'm just like, if genetics is genetics and something had to happen in between, right? That before me getting pregnant at that early age for that scenario to happen. Because stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. Women who have children, especially out of wedlock at an early age, such as like 18 or even younger than that, there's a stereotype and stigma attached to that, and there's usually cause to an effect, right or wrong. So you use your context clues to figure out how something like that would happen, knowing my ethnic background and nationality. So I'm 18. I decide I want to keep hanging out with them bad friends. Previously, while my bad friends then dropped out of school, didn't get their diploma, I had the first time in my life ever out of all 12 years of school previously. I decide I want to go, like, because I had the bad friends, but I wasn't necessarily around them 24/7. You feel me? I was going home doing that homework and shit, bitch. I decided my senior year I was going to hang around the bad friends and woo woo, because that's what everybody does the last year, senior year. You just don't give a fuck after you get the work done, whatever the case may be. I was hanging around the bad friends so much that I had to, for the first time in my life, do summer school. Never in my whole life have I ever participated in summer school until my senior year. So that summer of, I decided I'ma just have fun with these bad friends previously. I'm not gonna. I enrolled into college. I didn't technically want to go to college there. I wanted to take what they call not a leap year. Is that called a leap year? I don't know what they call it, but like, you know, when you take a year off from college to a year off from school before college, so you can figure out what the fuck you want to do. Because there were good teachers, but the environment of the school was in an urban community that really ain't give a fuck about. Like, my graduation year, in 12th grade, they had a banner when you walked into the school that said graduation is possible. Not that like looking forward to graduation day come. It said graduation is possible. Their graduation rates sucked. I'm just letting y'all know what type of environment I was, although the person I am. I made the decision. It was my decision to hang around with them bad friends. They didn't force me to do shit. Not necessarily. Even though I was around those bad friends, I still graduated. I still went to summer school. I still enrolled in college. Before the first trimester of motherfucking college, I found out I had got pregnant. I had an ex-lover that was also an Aquarius. This ex-lover was Aquarius. While he was like a year older than me, he would always be back and forth in jail, juvie, whatever you want to call it. He wouldn't be doing, like, I don't want to put his business on there, but like, he would just know he always would be back and forth in jail. He had a reputation. This is somebody. This not no This is one of them false trauma bonds I had. The Aquarius I used to date. Follow along. The Aquarius I used to date in adolescence, I had a false trauma bond with because um, of sexual assault. That's how I met him, through sexual assault. You could call it Stockholm syndrome. We would be on and off because it became comfortable for me then. So one day previously, and while I was around the age of 18, he had came back from oh my gosh, like, my mother's in the kitchen cooking right now, and it's like she cooking something called bitter leaf, and I don't eat bitter leaf because I feel like it's like a stigma. Like, why would I want to eat something that is like called something bitter? You know what I'm saying? So like, somebody's bitter that things didn't work out, and this I know I'm saying some real shit right now, but this story is not going to turn out the way you think. So I was in Stockholm, sexually assaulted, previously toxic relationship with my ex-lover who's an Aquarius. He had came back from juvie or jail, one or the other, previously, not now, previously. And, we end up, being sexually active. And I was ignorant about sex at that time because I was only 18. It's certain things at 18 you're not gonna know everything about sex at the time. So like, we didn't use the condom. That nigga, it looked like he nutted me because like he did the movement. You know how niggas we when they like ejaculate, and then he just fell right out, regular. And then it was like all his semen was like seeping out of me. So in that moment, I truly believed that he impregnated me. So right after I realized I was pregnant, I had seen him, and I was telling him like I believe that he's the child's father, um, what we should do about the situation, etc., etc. This was like as I was like 3 months pregnant. Mind you, 3 months pregnant, I was already enrolled into college. I was going to school. I had to tell this nigga while I was in my first trimester of school that I was in my first trimester being pregnant, and he was supposed. I was believing he was the child's father. That nigga that nigga was so happy. Somebody I had a toxic relationship with based on sexual assault previously. He was so happy. I went to go. Long story short, I went to go. I told him like we wasn't going to tell everybody, like not everybody, but we was going to tell his excuse me, because he came from a single household. Until I told my parents, and I had to tell my mother first because I didn't know like how my father was gonna respond. Because what? I'm African. No African parent wanted to hear that their kid at 18 is pregnant, And bitch, it was a whole ordeal. The whole pregnancy, bitch. My father didn't talk to me the whole pregnancy, bitch. And that's my daddy. So basically I told my mother. My mother was very heavily into the church at the time. She's still into church, but like she was very much into the church. She had her position and stuff like that. I had to hide my pregnancy from the church members. It didn't matter if like I was uncomfortable or anything about it, just to appease them because they were feeling embarrassed. Um, no shade to my mom, and she did the best she could, but what she could mentally handle, because everybody parents not the same. So basically, it was so ironic. Like it was just like the whole situation was ironic. It wasn't the best of situations, but I made the best of it. Long story short, after I told the nigga I was pregnant, everything, he was happy about it. After I told my parents, that nigga went back to jail. So I already knew what kind of man he was. I already knew that's not the man I wanted to marry, but like I had to make a decision. Basically, the scenario was that like because I grew up in the church, it was like they made me seem as though it is a sin to want to wait, because I have an understanding that even if that pregnancy was not to be like fully completed, I want to say it nicely, because I love my child and I'm happy that she's in my life and will continue to do so. But if the plan that niggas was trying to have me do, like to not have that pregnancy fully completed, I understood that that same child would have came back to me. But all glory be to God, I decided to keep my baby. I knew, and at the time I'm thinking like I'm having a baby with my sexual abuser previously, and it was a lot to take in. You like, I understood how my parents felt, but it's like, bitch, you don't understand how I felt because they didn't know that. So then they went back to jail, so I had to come to terms with like, all right, I'm about to. I already knew that. I'm like, all right, I'm about to be a single parent for a little while. So I had to mentally prepare. My daughter was like a month old when she after being conceived, and I seen that same Aquarius ex lover that had that toxic relationship with previously based off sexual assault. This nigga saw me randomly, and he said, "I want to see the child. She's so beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna do a DNA test." I'm said, "Fine. I have no problem with that." Nigga went back to jail. That cycle kept repeating for almost 5 fucking years. I'm about to get a DNA test. Went back. He went back to jail. I'm about to get a DNA test. He went back to jail. Like I never, I was just like, at that point, I was just like, this is some straight bullshit. So, long story short, because instead of putting all the whole story on blast for y'all, around the time my daughter was like 5 or so, or 7 or something like that. I want to say like around 5 or 7, around that time. I want to say 5, somewhere around that time. Then they got back out from jail, and he was very serious because also what you need to know, and I pride myself on it, but like it's just like, bitch, like all this shit could have been it didn't have to happen this way. When I had my child, I was very scared to have children again out of wedlock. And I wanted, as all mothers, especially when they first have their first child, and they don't know no better, and regardless if the man is a good man or he's not, you want to keep the family together. So, while knowing that this nigga was in and out of jail for the most part of like 5 years of my daughter's life, I'm like, this nigga's in jail. No negativity. I was like, I was like, I caved, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna make this shit work. So while he was in jail, I was like having like a relationship with him. So for 3 years after my child was conceived, I wasn't having no sex while a nigga was locked up in the penitentiary. And I was happy about that because it was just like I learned how to what's the word? It's a word for this. One moment. I learned self control. Excuse me. I learned self control because I was like, if I could go 3 years without having sex with anybody, for the most part, I ain't gonna hold you. It was some devil in that month ahead, but like I wasn't sexually active for like 3 years for the most part. I want to say, well, let's just say 2 years. I was sexually active for 2 years while the person I believed to be my child's father was in the penitentiary, was in jail, bitch. And and then like I was doing all this stuff, going to hear me. I was going to motherfucking every one of his court days. I was in school, bitch, in college, sending this nigga 2 to 3 letters each week. You know how much money the jail system makes? When you even visitations, you gotta pay them people to hold your motherfucking bag, purse, wallet because they're not gonna let you take that shit up there to go see nobody. The amount of money I invested into that situation, and it's not about money because I did it out of my kindness, on my own heart, because I'm thinking this is my baby daddy and shit like that. Nigga gets out of jail previously without telling me. Now he told me we were gonna get a DNA test, but without telling me. One day while I had my child over there, and it wasn't many days that his side of the family would be watching over my child. It really wasn't that many days, but especially back then. One of the random days I decided to let his family watch my child, or the case may be. He got a DNA test and swabbed my child without telling me. I'm not mad about it, but it was like you could at least told me you were doing it that day. I'm not trying to be sneaky or anything. It's just like it just don't seem like it was good intent. So I'm just alright. The only way I found out about it because that nigga mama had called me right after he did the shit, before they dropped my kid off, and she was telling me how this bitch told me he tampering with the test. He over here doing a DNA test without your consent, and he tampering with it because he don't want to take responsibility of being the father. Interjecting her and some shit that she ain't have no business interjecting in. So from that time, my mindset was this nigga is not trying to take care of his responsibilities, and he's gonna do everything to like try to like get away from take care of his kid because he was never around the kid like for real. Never, like maybe like 1 or 2 times for real. This nigga had a girlfriend at one point in time when I wisened up and decided not to, date my abuser, even if I believe him to be the baby father previously, all right? He would leave, go club and go party and go be with other bitches, and then he would leave my child with his girlfriend that I had never like had a real conversation with before. So I had to stop bringing my child around them, and it wasn't even that many times that I had brought my child around them for real. But it was still a thing because, like, as a parent, especially a new mom, you don't want to put your child around strangers, or even if you think that's your child's father and stuff like that, right? I'm saying it the way I'm saying it because, bitch. So DNA test come back. This nigga wasn't even talking to me. Like, randomly, he had my number. He FaceTimed me. This nigga waving up the paper around saying 0.00 negative, not the child father. He laughing, yeah, like happy as fuck, happy as fuck, happy as fuck, happy as fuck. Mind you, the week prior to when he did the DNA test without even asking me, his mama called me, was like, he tampering with the test. He trying, he doing all, she explained to me exactly how he was tampering with the test and everything. So in my mind, I'm thinking this nigga just did some bullshit. Then this nigga took it a step further. I just told him, like, man, like, your mother, like, I told him that his mother already told me, and I already know he was trying to fake the funk. From that perspective, I already told him that. I'm just like, then he was like, we could just take another test. When I tell you this, like even though the way we have met, and I don't care to like be cool with this nigga no more, but like the way we have met, at least one thing I say about that nigga, even though it was a whole, like there was some malicious shit in regards to how we met and everything like that, but like when it came to trying to figure out about the responsibility of a child, he was doing the right thing. He might have went around about it in some fucked up ways because after he did that DNA test, supposedly he was going around showing people and like bragging about it in a malicious way. He was like, you know what, we can take another DNA test. I'm alright. And then go back to jail. It was just like back and forth, back and forth. He kept going back to jail. Still does to this day. So that was around when my kid was around 5 to 7 years old. 10 years later, we finally, not we, because he still in jail. His mom was like, enough is enough. We believe you for the most part. Let's just do shit the right way. Let's take it to the courts. The reason why I previously never wanted to take it to the courts was because he was always in and out of jail. And if I believe you to be my child's father, I don't want to keep putting you in harm's way that you already been doing to yourself. That's my reasoning. I explained myself to them about that. That's what it was. But after 10 years of the back and forth, I just finally was like, you know what? Let's do it. Because he had, by that time, he already had another child and was doing the same shit. So not only me was tired of the situation, his mama was tired of the situation because he kept repeating that cycle of basically trying to make it seem like on social media he's a good person in regards to taking care of kids, and he really wasn't. Mind you, this is the perspective. I believe this is my baby daddy because I saw him ejaculating me with no condom, bitch, and I saw the semen seep out. Keep that in mind. Long freaking story short, we go to court, bitch. Before the court even happened, this nigga started panicking, telling his mama that he wanted to get a lawyer. If you don't, think the child is yours, why you need a lawyer for it? Why you get scared? So that even made his mama even go even more harder on my behalf to help me out in that court situation. We get the results back, bitch. That shit said you was not the father, bitch. I was perplexed. I'm not even about to hold you. I was perplexed. I'm like, the whole reason as to why I was going so hard for this nigga's my baby daddy is because I literally saw this nigga put dick in me nut, ejaculate. What the fuck? It was like one of the moments where I was just like, God, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, first it's the baby mama stereotype. Then it's the single mama stereotype. Then it's the not knowing who your baby daddy is stereotype. I'm like, what the fuck? When I tell you, after the shit I experienced, because I'm not going into detail right now, the shit I experienced, I told you the main aspect of what the fuck was going on. I was navigating through some shit. You mean for 10 years? 10 years, I was putting up with so much disrespect while still being a single mother, while financially taking care of my child by myself, putting up with disrespect of somebody else's family, and they not even our family, bitch. I'm like, God, what the actual fuck? Now I ain't gonna hold you. They wasn't his family not the worst, but like it could have been a better situation. Like I ain't gonna hold you. Like so I'm just like, God, what the actual fuck? But let me tell you one thing. The same day I got them results saying that that man wasn't my baby daddy. When I say I didn't cry, I wasn't sad. I was so relieved. I was so happy. I'm still happy. I'm so happy that my ex lover, who I had a toxic relationship with previously, my ex lover, the Aquarius, that I had a sexual abusive previous relationship with, that I was thinking for 10 years of my baby daddy, and I was already sad about that shit. Come to find out he not the baby daddy. I ain't wasting not one time because they was even asking me, and they even ask you when you go to the course, like, is there any other person you could believe that's the baby daddy? Because I saw this nigga nut in me. Excuse me. Because I saw that nigga nut in me, ejaculate into me, there was no question of any other nigga being the child's father. But that day I had got them results, and they was like, he is not the child's father. I ain't wasting not one. I ain't wasting no time. Same day, bitch. Same day. Because the thing is, I had met a nigga a week after I had sex with my ex. That's an Aquarius that I had that sexual abusive relationship with. The nigga I met the next week is an Aquarius also. When we first started fucking around, we were using condoms. Until we weren't. The Not the first day, but the first week I met that nigga, we was hunching. We was fucking. So it never occurred to me that that was the nigga that could be my baby daddy, because I saw another nigga nut in me. But some way, somehow, the nigga I met a week after I stopped fucking with the nigga that was in and out of jail was the baby daddy. And then they're both the same zodiac sign. Sun sign placement. So, that same day I got them results, I immediately, first and foremost, I apologized to the nigga who I thought was the child's father. I apologized to the mother. Obviously, she didn't want to really hear that shit, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. I told her I don't understand how, but I did apologize. But I ain't mad at it. We never speak again. We never see each other again. I'll be fine. So, because she wasn't even mad about the results, neither here nor there. Because I wasn't mad about the results either. Same day, I call up the nigga I know for certain gotta be the baby daddy, because it's the only other nigga I was dealing with at the time. I dated that nigga from the first week of August, a week after I had met that had sex with the other Aquarius in July. So it was only 1 week difference that made the baby daddy. Long story short, woo! The enemy is falling out, bitch. So long story short, bitch. Same day I got the results, I called the actual baby daddy. I said, listen, we don't have to do it the court. I said it very politely. Like, I'm like, listen, I believe you to be the child's father. I know it's been 10 years. I had to, like, I really had to think about what I was going to say before I say, I'm not the child's father. I believe you to be child's father. There's only a week in between you and this other person. I know it's been 10 years. But, hey, we don't have to take it to the court system if you don't want to. This is what I was telling the nigga. Having to explain to a nigga that have trying to make me feel somewhat some way or bad, and I really didn't, because after what I experienced in the previous 10 years with somebody and finding out that's not actually my family, bitch, I was mad as fuck. But I said I gotta do the right thing, gotta do what I gotta do. I was explaining to him for like 10 years. I know, like, coming to you might sound a little wild, talking about, you know, you got a kid, but we don't gotta take it to the courts. We can get an at-home DNA test, and we can take it from there. And whatever you want to do after that, that's fine. I just want to solidify that you are the child's father. I'm not asking. I wasn't asking for no money, nothing. The nigga agreed to me. This is recent. This is like last summer. The nigga agreed. The nigga agreed to do the at-home um, DNA test. When I found out I was 3 months pregnant, I was already dating my baby daddy. I had to explain to my baby daddy that because I saw another nigga ejaculate into me a week prior to knowing my baby daddy. Actually, I'm thinking the other nigga's the baby daddy because I saw him ejaculate into me. Bitch, why the fuck I realized after 10 years that nigga ejaculated into me and I squirted and it's pushed all that shit out. So he was never the baby daddy. The first nigga was never the baby daddy. But because I was 18, I didn't know previously about sex like that. I'm thinking when I saw the ejaculation, it was just all his sperm. Bitch. So 10 years later, I have to explain this nigga like he got a child. He agreed to the DNA test. He said meet him the next day at his house. The same house when I was dating him when I was 18. The same house I was dating him since I dated him from August to October. August, and the first week of August is when I met him. Mind you, the same week, if not the same week, the next week we were together. It was like an instant connection. August, September, October. I dated that nigga for 3 months. Within 3 months, I knew I should not take that relationship any further. I was even saying to myself, like I can't even, because it wasn't given. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't given. It wasn't. I was in college. He was older than me, and he was still fucking around. And people, it's not even about how people were viewing him, but people were right about how they were viewing him. And I was dating that person. So, like, no. Nigga already had a child at the time. That nigga actually had a child. That my baby daddy actually had his first child when he was in high school. And we went to the same school. And even the irony about all of that, when I was dating him, one of the reasons, this is the main reason why I had stopped dating my baby daddy before I found out I was pregnant, right? Well, we stopped dating because I was pregnant, but like the main reason why I was already like ready to leave the relationship is because when I was dating him, one day he decided to not tell me that he neglected his responsibilities to watch his firstborn child, just to spend time with me, and that his baby mama came looking for him with the child, talking about you supposed to pick him up and watch him today, looking at me crazy like I was the one that incited that motherfucking man to do that shit, and it was like I would never. Because I would never want a situation like that for me, bitch. No pun intended. I'm just saying this. talking. So when I found out I was pregnant and I was thinking it was the other nigga, I'm like, all right, these are both not the greatest of situations. I already made my peace with I was gonna have my child. So it's like all I have to do now is tell this nigga I'm pregnant by somebody else. Whole time it was his baby, bitch. Excuse me. So I told him I was pregnant. That nigga went into fetal position, stayed like that for 5 minutes, got back up, said, "Is it mine?" I told him at the time no, because I believed it not to be his child. He went back into fetal position. I got dressed, got up. He yelled at me the whole entire way when he was walking me home. Previously. Went about my business. I was still pregnant. I was going to, so we broke up around October, bitch. I only dated him for 3 months. October is when I told him I was pregnant. Mind you, knowing now, I had got pregnant that same month I met that nigga. That's why I explained the astrology of it all. And that's why I'm explaining why those two niggas zodiac signs and how it's the same fucking zodiac sign, bitch. Because the first nigga, another reason why I believed the first time the first nigga, the nigga was in and out of jail with the baby daddies, because when I first met him, we had a pregnancy scare. So when I did get pregnant within that 1 week, I really believed it was that nigga. So fast forward, when I was pregnant and my going towards my second trimester, bitch, we broke up in October within my first trimester, 3 months. He's an Aquarius. His birthday is in January, October, November, December, January. Second trimester. I'm about to be in the month. I'm about to be like 6, 7 months pregnant, bitch. Nigga called me on his birthday. My baby daddy called me on his birthday. Mind you, supposedly having me believe that is another nigga kid. Nigga called me on his birthday, tell me to come celebrate with him. He wanted to drink and smoke. I told him I'm still pregnant. He said, so? In fact, he told me, you ain't handle that? I, long story short, stop talking to the nigga. I didn't think that was my baby father anyways at the time. Long story short, I have my child. Me and my child living life. I'm not, at the time, I wasn't talking to the nigga I thought was the baby daddy anyways. I came back around. Me and this nigga started talking and dating again. Somewhere in between the time of my child being 3 and 5 years old. I say all this to say, first and foremost, I understand my part to play in this situation because I should have known better. But at the beginning and end of the day, a nigga eject. First and foremost, what I learned in this situation is, even though it's not always the situation, if a nigga say he not the father, it's because this nigga should know whether or not he ejaculated into you for real. So my whole impression about the situation is that this nigga, my actual baby daddy, ejaculated into me. Didn't say shit. When I brought it up, when it was space and opportunity, he didn't admit to that shit. Had another nigga for 10 years believing he was the child's father and he wasn't. Basically. And in between the time where of the 10 years, he wanted another nigga to believe he was the child father and he wasn't. But my actual baby daddy was, but he was hiding that shit from not only me, but everybody else involved. That nigga still wanted to date me and pretend to play stepdaddy to his actual biological motherfucking child. Mind you, I ain't bring my child around that nigga. because I'm not the type bitch to bring my child around any nigga. But the nigga was willing to play stepdad. This nigga wanted to date me. The nigga wanted to progress in the relationship. The nigga had a kid already. He was already in the mindset of being a stepdaddy, but whole time knowing he wasn't gonna be a stepdaddy because he was actually the biological father. So when I tell you after 10 years and I realized all that shit, I really didn't give a fuck about nothing about that situation no more. Like, I was just like, it's not even just me. It's like, it's a whole other family. Like, you put through the shit. Like, that's fucked up. Then, long story short, so back to what I was saying about. So the nigga agreed to the DNA test. We were gonna do the at-home DNA test. He agreed to it. I was gonna go to the same day I got the results, and the other nigga was in the job father. I said, let's do an at-home DNA test. He agrees. They come the next day. Bitch, before the next day could fucking come. Ironically, at 11 o'clock, or before 11 o'clock, niggas Aquarius. Numerology. This nigga girlfriend, some way, somehow gets my number, calls me, locks herself inside of her bathroom to tell me that this nigga basically felt guilty and had to tell her that he possibly had a baby outside their relationship. And she starts telling me everything. She tell me this nigga not taking care of his kids, including my child. Nigga got 5 kids. All the other baby mamas don't like him. Don't like him. He's not financially responsible for them. He don't want. He like she even told me verbatim he's not going to take the DNA test. I said he just told me to come over there to the house where I know him from when I was dating him, not once but twice. He told me to come there the next day. Bitch, why the fuck does his girlfriend tell me he don't even live there no more? Long story short, the girlfriend told me just put him on child support, take it to the courts, do a DNA test. She said, I'm advocating for you. I got your back. She did not have my back. Or maybe she did, and she did it in a fucked up ass way. But long story short, we took it to the courts. Nigga did not show up. They just like the courts even did some shit. Like I don't even about to even get like the courts did some shit where they was trying to give him leniency. They really want him to prove himself. Like because if you have nothing to hide, why not? You didn't want to do the at-home DNA test. Then we do it. We take it to the court because your girlfriend said let's do that shit. Not just because not being your girlfriend said do that. I'm about to do that. But it's like this is a real life situation. Let's just handle it. He didn't come to the first court date. He didn't come to the second court date. They was threatening to fucking call the cops on him, bitch. Like they trying to do the parent locator on him. Like all types of. Then I had to find out like this nigga doing under the table jobs and like nothing really wrong with that, but like because the exact reason and this is the exact reason why the other baby mamas don't got him on child support because he just don't want to do it. I said, listen, I had an ain't shit ass baby daddy for 10 years. I don't give a fuck about this situation. I've been raising my kids myself with people who genuinely care about me, helping when they can or if they want to. But primarily it's just me. So, I gave y'all an hour worth of some shit that seemed ghetto as fuck, but like, I'm about my life. So, here's the next segment. And great, we made it at an hour. It's 59 minutes. Great. I told you I only wanted to be on here for an hour. So let's get to it. So I asked God, I said, all right, so here's the thing. With all that being said, I've been talking to God and I'm very proud of myself because um obviously I started off this narration of my story time talking about I thought I had a child by someone I was in a previously toxic, sexually abusive relationship with previously, right? But I was saying use context clues. Nobody just ends up in a sexually toxic relationship if something prior to that didn't happen. It's psychology. So there is a scenario in regards to my intermediate family, in regards to sexual assault, that in regards to me, that I finally be like, you know what, God, I'm ready to have that conversation with my mother and my family about it. Because when I was younger, I thought my mother ain't give a fuck about me, and our relationship was strained previously because I thought she was supposed to protect me. But as I've gotten older, I've realized we've never had the conversation. So she doesn't necessarily know, or I don't think she knows. So I'm like, God, I'm proud of myself because now I'm at a place mentally where we can talk about the shit now. But I was like, before I do that, ironically, let me come to the internet and let's start the conversation here. Let's start the conversation here. Do you think I should go to my family and have this conversation about someone in my family who sexually assaulted me? What do you think? I really want to. I'm not the type of person to ask random people on the internet, but like, I really want to know, what do you guys think? Like, do you think I should go have this conversation with my mother and expose the person who sexually assaulted me when I was in adolescence? The person taught me how to suck dick. So, what do you think? I'm not trying to be funny, but like that's what it is. That's what it was. And I ain't gonna hold you. The person who taught me how to do that, that shit has been a life skill since. But ever since then, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not like, I don't like. I'm at a point now like I don't even want to suck dick until I'm married to the person I'm supposed to be married to. So